Welcome everybody to episode 5 of the Waterman Podcast. I have another young, talented artist here for you guys today. Kashmir, welcome, young man.
Well, thanks for having me, Waterman. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Nice to see you again. And again, this guy from day one, talking to him on the phone there, I felt like I knew the brother, good energy, just like Johnny Walker. Same thing. I put him in that same category. So yes, so Kashmir, tell me, where were you from originally?
I'm from Denver, Colorado.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So now, when did you decide you want to come to California? And
Well, it started because my mom, she's in the military. And so I traveled around the world. And so when I was back in Colorado, I realized that I didn't want to stay there. I realized that I need to go somewhere else. And so, yeah, I met this girl and she said, wow, you have a lot of potential, but you're losing it by staying in Colorado. My dad said I'm a plant growing in the shade. So I was like, let me do something about this. And then let me just fly here, not know anything about California, and just land here and see what happens. And so, yeah, it's basically, yeah.
as you say that, you remind me of a statement I had made in a previous podcast. And I was making the statement to where, in my assessment on life and from what I just intuitively know, of course, we all know to make things happen, we have to visualize it, see ourselves being where we want to be.
Yeah.
All of those things, but we must not forget action. So I think that my assessment is to where all we need to do is take 5% action, effort, 5%. The 95% formalities God will take care of.
Okay.
So just by you coming here, not knowing anybody, that was you taking action.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the thing God puts together for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you didn't have to break everything down from A to Z.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know anybody here.
Oh, yeah.
So I better not make a move.
Oh yeah, it was interesting. Like, I can see the videos on YouTube where they say, "Hey, everything you need to know about before you move to," you know what I mean? Like, so some of those things were kind of interesting, but I learned about it right away. Like somebody took me down and were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take you to this secret place." I'm like, "What is it? What kind of studio is it?" And then I turn around, I'm on Skid Row. I was like, I didn't know where I was. I was like, I've never even seen that before. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. But just experiencing it instead of like seeing it on a YouTube video before I'm making my decision on where I want to go. So I just landed here literally in the middle of like Hollywood. That was my first experience of LA. And it's been awesome. The people here are very friendly. I did actually read about that. They said anywhere you move where the sun is shining more, people will be friendlier. So in Colorado, it was like, you could see the sun, but yeah, it looks nice, but it's freezing outside. So it's not the vibe. So
yeah, I mean, basically, man, in life, we just have to work with what we have, whatever we have, put whatever we have to work,
Yeah.
and then make some kind of effort. And then, the rest, God will take care of for us.
Definitely.
So now you basically, you've been into the music field now for how many years now?
I would say that, I've been doing music for longer than 10 years, but yeah, professionally, I would say, yeah, more like 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So now, do you care to at some point be with like a major label, or you prefer to just stay independent?
Definitely got to stay independent because you get to make all your own decisions, everything. Like I definitely I understand why it's cool to be signed. Because like literally I see Capitol Records every single day out my window.
Yeah, you see the machine. You see the machine.
I see the industry, right?
Yeah,
and so it's kind of cool, but
it's tempting.
It's tempting because I know certain steps that I would have to do that. Now, of course, being affiliated with them, that's kind of cool. Maybe working with them on the side, that would be kind of cool too. But
exactly
the whole just me being independent, I started. It was by accident. I was on this website called SoundClick, and I was like making my beats on that. before this website died a long time ago, but it was like when it was starting, I was on there. And then I kind of like became like the king of SoundClick because it was like everybody knew me, everybody was dealing with me, and I was basically I had like 600 million plays on there. It was just insane. So so off the strength of just what I was only doing already by selling music, I was able to just move here, just off the strength of that. So I wasn't signed to anybody. I was just independent, but I was just making like a pretty good amount per month. So it was pretty good. I mean, from where I was, I think the job I had before that, I was working at the mall. So, but I think that actually helped me though too, because that helped me with my people skills because I had to open and close at the mall. So I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the mall. It's crazy. So
I love the fact that you looked at that as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And you saw that in a positive light. Like, okay, you looked at it like, okay, this is going to help me in life, brush up on my people skills.
Yeah.
Because when we're that young going through certain things in life, sometimes we can very easily look at it in a negative way. What I have to deal with all these people? You see what I'm saying? But looked at it like, okay, this is going to help me brush up my people skills.
Oh yeah.
So you were very wise.
But my parents helped me with that as well, because being a military brat, I had to deal with so many different types of cultures already. I had to talk to them. And so I was kind of used to it a little bit. And then after I worked in the mall, it kind of refined it. So even if I wasn't in the mood, I still understood how to deal with people's energies back and forth. Like if somebody would come to me and they went to sell something at the store and they were just like, some guy would pull up to me at the store. I was selling clothes at a kiosk. And this guy came up, he said, you got some freaking clothes or whatever. He was acting ignorant, right? But he was just saying that instead of me saying, hey man, you can't talk to me like that, man. Calm down, man. Like, I'm just selling some clothes. No. Instead I reversed the energy. I keyed it where I was like, of course I got some stuff, man. Hey, look at this. And I just directed the energy to the shirt instead of me. You know what I mean? And so I learned how to do that. So it worked a lot once I came to LA, because it was kind of like I already understood how to talk and deal with. So of course you said it's a melting pot being out here. So
I mean, also too, I think you kind of like knew very early on the importance of people skills.
Yeah.
And how that can help you in life. You know. Because, when you're like, in your 20s and what have you, you're not really thinking too much, I don't think, that much about people skills,
Right. Yeah.
and the importance of that. So you were already, ahead thinking, as you know, of course, you always want to own your own masters,
Yeah.
And then have that full control over the artistic creation of your work, because I'm glad to see that, you're thinking that way, because a lot of times you might have some new artists, they just looking at the money.
Oh yeah.
And then to them that might seem a lot of money right then and there, but down the line it's really not that much. But also they sell themselves short, because it's like, okay, you don't own your masters, your own ball.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to keep that creative control,
Yeah.
Is there any artists that you like to work with that you think that that would really complement what you're trying to do? Or?
I mean, there's so many artists I would like to work with. Like, I mean, it's more like I'm just looking for the opportunity to just work with pretty much everybody. You know what I mean? Like there's one of my heroes in music production is Timberland.
Yeah, he's very good. Very
what I respected
talented.
about him was just his versatility. And so he was working, I could work with this person. I could do a pop record with that, but I could do hoods.
He's versatile.
It was very versatile. So I was kind of like, all right, I want to work with people because I could just be versatile with whoever I work with,
Yeah.
And so before I was more leaning towards maybe just hip hop, because I was doing a lot of sample hip hop beats. And then all of a sudden I started getting into the trap stuff. I had to learn how to make that. And then now recently getting into more pop music and having to understand and learn that whole style, like all those different styles in there. Because one of the artists I was working with wanted to do a 80s style. So I had to watch all the 80s videos and learn the 80s chords and all this stuff. It was really interesting, but I didn't know anything about that. So I think that, if there was somebody that was like doing pop, I would want to work with them. If there was somebody that's doing trap, I would want to work with them on any level. you know? So
It's good that you're thinking on that level because
yeah.
I think when a younger artist, works with an older artist, I think both sides benefit from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get audiences from both sides.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Rolling Stones, if they, like what I saw video of them with Christina Aguilera, okay, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Both sides will benefit from that.
Yeah.
You see? So, it's always good to do that, get the younger audience and then the older audience, you keep both, and what have you. So, you always want to do something like that. Now,
Definitely.
are you currently like laying down some new tracks or you just kind of experimenting with different sounds and stuff like that?
I actually am. I'm doing a lot of experimentation. I'm kind of like a nerd with it, basically like tinkering with sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figured out a way to kind of crack the code on creating music on a large scale.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this program I use, and it helps me like basically use MIDI to learn different styles. So I've just been experimenting doing like creating loops.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been creating loops of trap loops. I've been creating pop loops. I've been creating Afrobeat loops. I've been creating EDM loops. I've been just doing that and dipping in that. So I'm basically making a whole lot of tracks in every single genre.
Mm.
So I'm kind of all over the place with it. You know what I mean? Because maybe if I was working with a specific artist right now, I'd probably have one main focus. But right now I'm kind of all over the place creating these loops and creating these like hits and stuff like that. But yeah, everything sounds incredible. Yeah.
I think it's good because right now you're like exploring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when you exploring, it's like, you're going to come across all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And, so you added more to your flavor,
Yes.
so that's a good thing because you don't want to be like rigid, like Bruce Lee says, you want to be like water.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But I've been more focused on this app that I'm working on.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
So basically around 6 years ago, I started working on this rhyme dictionary, and I just wanted to make like a bunch of rhymes to help out lyricists. Like it started out for me because I started rapping first, but it was more like as I had all these rhymes, I had all these extra ones I wasn't using. So I was like, I want to create an entire rhyme dictionary from scratch. So I went to all the Barnes and Nobles and I read every single book they had. I went to the internet, Rhyme Zone. I went and read every single rhyme and I put it all together. And I was like, I want to know everything that rhymes with everything. And so when I put it together, the pandemic happened. And so I had all these papers. I had thousands and thousands of papers. And I finally was able to type it because I had nothing else to do. So I typed the entire thing. So now, I had 2 books, 700 pages each, every rhyme in the world. And so I ran that's crazy. But by accident, I ran into this app developer from San Francisco. And he was just like, "What are you working on?" And I just showed him it in rhyme form. And he was just blown away. He was like, "Yo, this is a crazy idea." He was like, "Yo, I'm affiliated with like Google Accelerate, stuff like that. I want you to fly to San Francisco and just like show us what you got." And I went out there like a week ago. That's where I was at. And it was crazy. I was like, it was insane. I'll show you how it works. Check this out. You said your name's Waterman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a Waterman podcast. All right. Check this out. All right. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to type in Waterman right now. This is everything that rhymes with your name right here. Check it out.
All right. Thank you. This is incredible. This is incredible. Wow.
All that rhymes with your name.
This is incredible. I mean, this is good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Good invention. Whatever you do, man.
Yeah, it's called the Rhyme Prairie.
I would keep that. I wouldn't sell that idea.
Yeah, no, it's
I see that becoming $1 billion invention.
If we can actually do what I think we can do with it, like it's interesting because it's they want to turn it into AI application. So that's what the app developer was really thinking about. He's like, if you can get AI to teach other people how to rhyme, That would be crazy. And so now that AI is basically taking over our lives, and we know that AI is getting better and better and better. I don't know if you've seen the automated robots bring food around. I know you've seen them. Like, you know, like, so we just see automated robots, no people. So it's kind of like since AI is taking over everything, I feel like those, I don't know if you've seen the movie Terminator, right? I see you got Arnold, the great Arnold behind you, right?
Yeah.
So,
and Brother Bruce, Brother Bruce.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like I could be one of the black guy that was creating the code. He didn't know what he was doing, but he was just adding the code to AI. So I'm more like it's almost like I'm perplexed because I think this invention will change music. I know it's going to change the hip hop battle league because they're going to have access to all the rhymes. I know it's going to change the average lyricist because they'll have all the rhymes. But because of AI, I think we're actually on the precipice of watching it destroy music, because it's going to make things so easy that people are going to be able to do things without all the work that we've had to do as musicians, learning and grinding. They'll just they can just get AI to just create them a whole entire song from scratch.
Well, I always say too that I think in life, the more of the brains that we have that we can use, the better. Technology is a double-edged sword, as everybody knows.
Yeah.
You don't want it to do too much of your thinking for you, basically.
Exactly.
Certain things you want to use your own brain to figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you have something that's constantly thinking for you, then, like they say, use it or lose it. Yeah. So technology does have its place. But I think we got to always be careful, like have a line that we don't cross.
Yeah.
Because if we have no boundaries, then, it's like, that changes.
That's Skynet. That's
that changes how we are as people,
Exactly.
And stuff like that. But
so I want to help. I don't want to hinder. So I've been perplexed about, like, is this going to help the music industry if they have everything? I think it will. So
yeah. I mean, again, like anything else, it's how it's used and, and all that good stuff,
Yeah.
But also, right now, are you working to try to put any kind of CD together, or are you thinking of
right now
some kind of...
Right now, my main focus right now has been more like the app, just because I've been getting such a positive response from it.
Okay.
As far as the actual music goes right now, since I'm not actually particularly working with any particular artist, and right now I am selling my music, but I'm doing it more of selling it online. It's more like I have more freedom to actually focus more on this. So I'm not actually putting out a project to actually put the music out as of right now, but I do have plans to actually do it, especially when I start working with people that I'm inspired by. So that's it right now, because it definitely seems like in the spirit of just wanting to help. If I can get with the right few artists, then I will help them correctly. But as far as like putting out my own project, I feel like that's something that I'm probably going to look at later on, maybe a year from now. Actually releasing my own project.
I see.
Yeah.
So now, as far as that app, how long did it take you to put that whole thing together?
Wow. We're right now we're still building the actual code right now for the actual app itself. But yeah, I would just say that, yeah, it literally took the whole process so far. It took 6 years to get it to where it needs to be. And then the actual application of turning it into an app, that's going to take, that's up to the developers. I don't know, how long they're talking about, like 3 months to kind of get it kind of right, and then trial, and then editing and all that stuff might take a year total. So that's what they were saying to get it off the ground. But yeah, we're gonna need at least 2 or 3 developers just to develop the application for it.
And then how did you come up with that idea? Like, when did that idea hit you one day? Like, you were just...
So I was listening to Eminem.
Oh, okay.
It always starts there, right?
Hey, Eminem will be saying to my brother soon, hey, I need 10%. I gave you that.
Yeah, I always thought
I need 10%.
I always thought Eminem would lose his freaking mind. He would lose his mind.
I was involved in you creating this stuff here. I gave you the
yeah, he was saying something.
Came on.
So here I am writing my rhymes, and he said something, and I was like, how did he think of that when I already have rhyme dictionaries? That's not in the rhyme dictionary, but yet he came up with something that's not in the book. And I didn't like not knowing. So it made me go looking for rhymes. And then I would hear like Lil Wayne coming up with stuff. He would make things rhyme that didn't rhyme. And I was like, what if there was a rhyme dictionary that had words that you can bend? Just like that. What if it had words that you couldn't think of before? What if it had all that in there? So yeah, Eminem started the actual epiphany of the idea. It was Eminem. I was like, yo, Eminem knows everything. And I was like, yo, I gotta know something. So I started looking for words, and I was like, oh, okay. I found I've started to find a whole lot more that he was talking about. So he's talking about Slim Shady, brain dead like Jim Brady, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
When he's saying his rhymes, but then I'm like, oh, but you didn't use this, you didn't use Israeli, you didn't use that, you know what I mean? You didn't use that word, this or that word, and there's so many other cool words I know now because of the book. And so when I was doing my own raps, it just made my own rhymes that much more interesting because I'm using words you didn't even think of. You know what I mean? And the rhyme dictionaries that you could get anywhere don't have it either. So I think it's going to change. I think it's going to change hip hop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I hear your phone ringing right now, and it's Eminem calling you for. Don't forget now, you owe me 10% now. So now you have an Instagram. How can the people, see you, follow you? You have an Instagram that's
So
social media.
my Instagram is my name, Kashmir Royale. That's my full Instagram, and it's crazy because I wasn't really a social media person until very, very recently. So I would say I've only been on social media actually for about the last 2 months.
Okay.
I was never on social media. Like I had my accounts, but I just never was on them ever. So I would be on Instagram. I'd scroll for like 1 minute, 2 minutes, and I'd get bored and I just get off it. Like I was never that guy, right? And so and then you've seen the movie Jim Carrey movie Yes Man?
I've heard of it.
Okay. Have you seen the Truman Show by Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Okay. So my life right now is literally both of those movies at the same time. So if somebody invites me somewhere, yes, I go. You want to do? I do it immediately, right? And then everything is very visual, the Truman Show. So then once I started doing that in the last 2 months, my life has been extremely interesting just because I just say yes to everything and I go places and I just do things, etc. So for example, when my good friend, obviously Ocean, when he hit me up and he was just like, hey man, you got to talk to this Waterman guy, man. This podcast is lit. You got to talk to him. And so I was like, yes. There was no question. It was yes, because I'm already in this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's interesting when I was getting all these plays from SoundClick, moving on to, all these other platforms I'm on, I didn't really make the connection of that fan base with my social media. Because if I had actually done that, if I'd had the forethought to actually do that, I'd probably be at like maybe 500K right now on it. Insta. It would have just been insane. So I'm kind of like just getting off. But yeah, my Insta is Kashmir Royale. So it's KajmirRoyale.
That's good. And also, just to add on to what you just said, that's a good spirit of how you are as far as, you just jump into things, because that's how things can really fully develop. Because a lot of times in life, we make the mistake to where in order for us to make any kind of move, we have to see clearly how everything fits together nicely like a puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Like we have to see the whole piece before we make that first step. But you just go in there, you know what I'm saying? And then don't worry about the formalities. That's the formalities. We're worrying about the formalities, right?
And technically that's what I did, not to interrupt. Technically that's what I did when I moved here. I just was I just came here. Like somebody suggested it and I just came here. I wasn't even prepared for anything. So it's the same kind of thing that I'm in now. I'm just like, oh, what are we doing? Okay, cool. Hey, we have this event. I'll be there. Like it's just it's made my life extremely interesting now.
That's a good spirit.
Now, of course, the pandemic didn't help with my isolation from people because I was just kind of, oh, well, I think I'll just stay here. And then being where I live, I could just kind of just be there anyway. So now I'm more active now, and you guys can find me there. And matter of fact, we just started shooting footage for the app.
Very,
So I did some footage where I just go out on the street and I just start talking to people about rhymes and if they're artists or whatever, and I just start putting them on the test. And I'll just come up with anything that rhymes with their name or whatever. And I think I've interviewed maybe like, it's like almost hundreds of people now. And it's like, we have so much footage now. So I think the first video on my page is like footage of me like talking to people about the rhyme thing. It's crazy. Their reactions are very, very positive too. So yeah.
That's very good. So Kashmir, thanks again, my brother.
Yes, sir.
For coming to the show. We must do it again.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure having you, man.
All right. Don't forget me when you blow up now.
I'm definitely not going to forget about you, man. I'm not going to forget, man.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
I need a recap, man. Thanks for letting me
to the show.
pull up, man.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank
Peace.
you. All right.